Hi guys, it's Kat here and welcome back to another show review. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kathleen Rose McKellar, also known as Kat, and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to review Shrek the Musical. Oh, try and get that there. There it is. So as you can see, I'm in my Shrek gear. I ended up getting a top. I also got a mug while I was there because you can't stop me when I go shopping when I go see a show. That's how I am. So I went to go see Shrek the Musical at the Lyric Theatre while I was in Sydney, and I went with my best friend Emma McKellar-Droguett, who you can find on YouTube as well, and her godmother Jan, and we had really such a fun time. I mean, it's Shrek. How can you not have a fun time? Most people may not actually know that Shrek was actually adapted into a musical based on the movie, and there are actually little references from all the movies basically in the musical, so I thought that was really interesting. But most of all, I had just such a fun time. If you've seen the movie, you know that that movie is hilarious and it is fun, it is packed with references, and honestly the musical is exactly the same. There are some differences in there, so what I was more surprised about was that I have seen the professional recording of the Broadway cast of Shrek, and I was expecting that version, honestly, but when we got to it, everything was different already. So the staging was, the first thing was a storybook, and in the Broadway production that wasn't in there, so they put the storybook in there, and they had little slits on it so that they could pop through. Heads of the people could pop through. So there was a little baby Shrek, there were Shrek's parents, Princess Fiona made an appearance in that opening to show that she'd gone off to her tower while Shrek was going off to his swamp. Everything of that opening was really funny and really quite clever in terms of the staging with that storybook and with the slits. And then Shrek came out himself, and it was Benjamin Gay. I hope I said that right. But I thought that he was a really good Shrek. That accent is really hard to keep up, and I could tell he was really trying to do it, and he actually did. He did for the most part, and it sounded really good, and I love his voice as Shrek, his singing voice. I personally have heard him sing a couple of other different styles of musical theatre, and in comparison, I actually like his voice better for this style of music. I don't know what it is, but that's what I love. I love his voice in this style, and he did really well. He landed all the jokes, and I can imagine how hard it is to actually, if you can see on the program, all those prosthetics on the face, I could tell it's very hard to actually move your mouth and to sing and to give emotion with that many prosthetics on your face, and props to him, he worked with it really well. I thought that he did great as Shrek, honestly. And then we have Princess Fiona, who is Lucy Durack, and Lucy Durack is very well known in the musical theatre world. She's done Wicked, she did Legally Blonde, I've seen her in Legally Blonde and I've seen her in Wicked, and now seeing her as Princess Fiona, I thought it was something different. It had more comedy, a different side of comedy to it, and I thought she handled it really well. She had her tap dancing number. When it came to the end and after tap dancing, usually Princess Fiona sings solo, but this time she didn't. It was the ensemble until that last line that she sang by herself. I could tell that she probably would have been winded from the tap dancing, and she's just had a baby. I cannot believe that she's just had a baby and she's gone back into musical theatre doing all these shows, and it's a very big show. So props to you, Lucy Durack. You were absolutely brilliant, hardworking mama and performer, so you did amazing. Then came Lord Farquaad, who was Todd McKenney, and boy did Todd McKenney play it up. I have to say, I love Todd McKenney. He is honestly an amazing performer, and he did Lord Farquaad a little bit differently. I guess you could say he Todd McKenney'd it up. It was more jazzy, he had that flair about him. I honestly didn't mind it. I thought it was great the way he did it. I thought it was different. I think a lot of people weren't expecting it, so a lot of people probably didn't know what to think. I think the best thing that you can do is you have to remember that actors and performers and actresses, they all put their own interpretation on the characters. Yes, these are characters that people know well, but everybody will try and put their own little twist on it and put their own little flair, and that is absolutely what Todd McKenney did. So I thought it was brilliant, and for him to be on his knees the whole time so he could get that height of Lord Farquaad, I just bow down, because not many people would be able to do that. Then we come to Nat Job, who played Donkey, who absolutely stole the show. He was brilliant. He was the only cast member out of the big ones who was casted, I think, from the auditions, I believe. If I'm wrong, I am very sorry, that is my fault, but that's what I believe, because his casting announcement came after Todd and Ben and Lucy, and also Marsha, who played Dragon, who her voice is brilliant, by the way, as Dragon. Her voice was just beautiful. His announcement came afterwards when all the rest of the cast were brought out, and he played it so well. He wasn't trying to be Eddie Murphy. He was taking all the jokes that were put into the script and he was just making them his own, and it was so good. His second act number, You Gotta Make a Move, was one of my favorites that entire night, because it was so good. He was dancing, he was going nuts, his energy was everywhere, and I loved it. Nat, you did so good, and you did Donkey justice. And I've got to say, like, he was completely in character. When there was the whole scene, spoilers, when there was the whole scene with Shrek and Fiona just going there, they're going at it with burps and everything, and there he is in the corner. If you look at him in the corner, he's got his jaw dropped, his eyes are wide, and he's just in it the entire time. And honestly, half the time I was looking at him to see how he would react, because you have obviously the focal point of Shrek and Fiona, but his reactions on the side were hilarious. And honestly, if you look at him and see the show and you see him on the side, you will not be disappointed. You will be laughing all over yourself, because he is absolutely hilarious with his reactions. So Nat, you did amazing. Thank you so much for doing Donkey justice. Going on from the fact that it was a completely different production to the Broadway production, there were things that were different that it did throw me off guard. There was no magic mirror. Way that Lord Farquaad found out about Princess Fiona was through Gingerbread, the little gingerbread cookie, who was absolutely adorable. And there were little things like that that were different, but it worked. And it was just fun overall. The ensemble, I've got to say, the ensemble are so good. They all have to be individual fairy tale characters, and then they come on for Welcome to Duloc, which is the only song from the movie that made it in, besides I'm a Believer, which is played at the very end after the bow. As fairy tale creatures brought so much character to it. And Freak Flag, which is one of their big ensemble numbers, it was so good. It was really high energy, and I loved it. And they had so many little references of different shows and different musicals in there. The Les Mis reference in it, which I lost it so badly. It was so good. Overall, if you want a fun night and you want to see Shrek just played out live and not just on your TV screen, absolutely go see this show. It is currently playing in Sydney and it will be coming to Melbourne soon. If you have the time, absolutely go see this show. It's not going to disappoint. You're going to have a lot of fun, and that's what you want. Take your kids to see it. In the shop, there's kids designated t-shirts. I was a little bit upset about that, because there were a couple of t-shirts that I really wanted and they said they were only in kid sizes. Very disappointed. But other than that, this show is one that you do not want to miss. It is absolutely fun. You're going to have a ball. And yes, it may not have all the songs that are from the movie, but you won't be disappointed with all the songs that are in here. And the characters, everybody does them so well. So if you can, please go see this show anywhere in the world. It is such a fun show. It is absolutely so much fun. That's it for this video. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and remember to subscribe if you want to see some more show reviews that are coming and some song covers that will be coming too, and more vlogs. All right, bye guys.